What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, it's the great and powerful. It's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up, brewskis?
Tonight's brew, well, check this shit out. Look at that.
Look at
that. Look at that. It's from Crooked Can. It's their 6-man lager. And if you're not watching and you're just listening, I'll tell you that we're decked out in our Orlando Magic gear because they have made the playoffs. Now, as of this recording, we are down one game. But game 2 is on tonight, so after we're done recording, hopefully next week we'll be up 1-1. Or actually, there'll probably be another game before that, so hopefully we're up 2-1. But, in celebration of the Magic making the playoffs for the second year in a row, we have some Magic-themed beer. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break.
Yeah.
What's on tap for tonight? WrestleMania. We watched WrestleMania 41, so we're going to talk about that.
Yep.
And the many controversies that have followed since.
As there always are.
As there always are.
Then we got some trailer trash. Including video games and movies, which will cover the new Predator Badlands trailer and the Ghost of Yotei trailer.
I think that's about it. It's about it.
Yeah, unless we wander away into
We wander into some holes.
Yeah.
Digging up the holes. But we can't wander anywhere until we crack open these beers and start this show off proper. So let's get right into it. This is episode 460.
Wow.
Of the One Beer In podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m.
Have an opportunity.
Takes me to a place where I fit in.
Okay.
Well, he's old. And,
Before he died.
yeah, so I can only assume that it didn't get much better.
No.
After
Things
he died.
usually get worse after you die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Pope Francis.
Pope Francis. Give him one of these. Give him one of those. For old time's sake.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet,
And watch. Amen.
Yeah. Hopefully they choose a new pope or whatever.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We're on
That's
one
why
today.
you're here. That's what you pay the big bucks for. That kind of comedy. That kind of engaging content. Okay, let's do this.
All right.
This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. I'm Marco. That's Adam.
Yep.
You want to tell the people a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
I would love to. This is the Crooked Can Brewing Company 6th-man lager. And there is a cold read on this can.
Yay!
6-man lager celebrates the vibrant community of Orlando with every sip, where the excitement of the Magic's games is matched only by the dedication of their fans. This beer isn't just a drink, it's a tribute to the energy and enthusiasm that makes each game night unforgettable. Brewed with all-American barley, corn, and hops, this beer is refreshing and crisp, brewed to the perfect way... That's a weird sentence. Brewed to be the perfect way to wet your whistle for every game time. Cheers, Andy, Alan, and Todd. 4.6% ABV. And that's all we got.
All right, cool. Thanks, Andy, Alan, and Todd.
Yes.
You ever seen the movie The Sixth Man with Martin Lawrence? Martin Lawrence. Jesus Christ, that was racist as shit. This is any black dude. Marlon Wayans, not Martin Lawrence. Marlon
Six Man.
Wayans.
I don't think I have.
And the dude from A Different World, Kadeem. Kadeem Hardison, I believe his name is. That was a pull. See, you guys wouldn't know Kadeem Hardison.
It's true.
Are you looking it up?
I am.
Not another world, a different world.
It's what you said.
No, it's not.
It is. Sherry?
Did I say another world?
Kadeem Haddison.
I said
Hardison.
another
Hardison.
world?
Hardison.
I don't believe either one of y'all.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to this.
Pull the tapes. Pull the tapes.
You know what? I will pull the tapes. I don't believe it.
Put you saying it right
Different
here.
world.
Different world.
And if I'm right, fuck y'all.
Okay.
If
All right.
I'm wrong, eh.
Okay. Fair enough. Yes, Kadeem Hardison.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If
Who played Dwayne.
I got to put a note in here to make sure I go back and look at that. Anyway, Six Man. It's a good movie. I just brought it up because it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's got a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. I looked it up the other day, and not great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's on Prime Video if you want to watch it for yourself.
Yeah,
Came out in 97.
23% on Rotten Tomatoes. Basically, this isn't a spoiler. This is the plot of the movie. Marlon and Kadeem are on the same team, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the 23 is probably warranted. Kadeem goes up for a dunk, and as he's hanging on the rim, he has a heart attack, and he dies. He falls off the rim, and he hits the court, and he dies. Super sad. It's a really sad scene. And then he comes back as a ghost, and he helps Marlon play better. So he's the sixth man
Yeah.
coming off the bench.
They definitely
In Ghost
saw
form.
Angels in the outfield and were like,
It probably
Let's do a
is
basketball
exactly that. Yeah, it's probably a basketball themed Angels. I wonder about the time frame.
okay, Six Man's 97. I'm going to go ahead and say Angels in the outfield was before that.
Definitely. I'll say 95. I'm saying 95.
I'll go 94.
All right. You gonna fucking Prices Right me?
$1, Bob. 94.
Fuck. Damn.
Got him. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
Danny Glover.
Wow, that cast is stacked. I
Yeah,
had no idea.
Matthew McConaughey, JGL, Tony Danza. Are you joking? Adrian Brody
Two-time Oscar-winning Adrian Brody.
and Christopher Lloyd.
Wow.
Oh, good stuff.
Okay. Let's get into.
To note,
Oh.
only a 31% Rotten
Oh,
Tomatoes.
okay. So both not really well received. Honestly, though, I feel like a lot of those movies from the mid to late 90s that are classics
Yeah.
probably were not held in very high regard critically.
yeah.
Like look up Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
See what the critics thought of that.
93. Just the
93
year before.
beat them both.
41%.
See,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And that movie's a stone cold classic. I don't
Yeah.
care what anybody says.
yeah.
I don't care who you are.
I don't care who you are. There was a span there in the early to mid 90s where baseball movies were like
A lot
big
of baseball
deal.
movies. Yeah.
Major League,
The
The Natural. Was that in the 90s?
I believe so.
I think
Sandlot.
so. Sandlot, of course. Yeah.
There's another one that I was thinking of around then. Shit.
If they build it.
Yeah, that's
they
the
will
one.
come. Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Field of
Yeah.
Dreams.
That's all in the span of like 3 years.
Yeah, baseball got big in Hollywood for some reason.
Maybe there was a concerted effort to make baseball bigger because it was losing its kind of foothold in the American consciousness, and it was all about basketball.
Yeah.
And then, the home run race happens and steroids and all that stuff, and everybody starts watching baseball again. But in the mid-90s, nobody gave a fuck about baseball, which is ironic that they kept making these movies. So it has to be like maybe there was some kind of machine behind that being like, we need to get people into baseball again.
There had to be, right? It's like, when the Volcano and the other Volcano movie came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And Deep Impact and
Armageddon
came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always that thing. White House down.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Olympus is falling.
Mm-hmm.
Strange.
Yeah.
Strange things are happening to
It's
me.
like people talk to each other behind the scenes in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, WrestleMania 41. Let's talk about it. All roads lead to Las Vegas. They all got to point at the sign. Let them know.
Yeah.
You guys watched the whole thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
What'd you think of the... Let's go night one and night... Sherry's like, unfortunately. Let's talk about night one. You gonna pull up the card?
Yeah.
So I've been kind of in and out of the of paying attention. I've been paying attention to the big storylines, but some of the smaller stuff I haven't really been really attached to.
Yeah, I mean, same. I catch wrestling as it comes. Basically, I just kind of pop in every once in a while. And,
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, let's see. So
it opened with the World Heavyweight Championship match.
Yes.
Bold decision.
Yes.
You got Jey Uso versus Gunther. What are you looking at? What are you confused about?
I wasn't sure if this was in order. Like
It is in order.
by night. So okay.
Yeah.
I trust in the process. Continue, please.
Right. Okay. So you got Gunther
Gunther.
and Jey Uso battling it out for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, if you're uninformed, there are two championship belts. There's the World Heavyweight Championship belt and the undisputed WWE Championship. No matter who you ask, I'll tell you straight up.
I don't care who you are.
I don't care who you are. The World Heavyweight Championship belt is a secondary title. No matter what WWE tries to tell you, it's a secondary title. The undisputed WWE Championship is the belt, and that's why I was going to say Cody Rhodes
So close.
and John Cena were wrestling for that belt, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But the World Heavyweight Championship is still, it's the second most important title, still an important title. So this is basically what they throw to the it's usually referred to as like the working man's title, the worker title, the title where you're going to defend it night in and night out, be the guy. The WWE champion is like the ambassador, the most important wrestler, the guy who's carrying the company at the time.
Yeah.
But the World Heavyweight Championship is usually like the working guy.
Yeah. It's going to show up on some shows.
And the guy that sometimes, all right, do we believe in this guy? Do we think that he could carry the company? Well, let's see what he does with a strap that's not a mid-card title,
Yeah.
like the Intercontinental Championship
Intercontinental.
or the U.S. Championship. Now, I understand, after having said everything that I just said, that this is going to be a very nerdy section of the podcast.
Yes.
So if you're not into this,
Feel free to skip. We understand.
because it's going to get real wrestling nerdy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, once we get going, it's kind of hard to stop. I can talk about these things in terms of, I know that I'm talking to a casual audience, or I can talk about these things from a very comfortable place and just talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what I'm going to do.
Let your freak flag fly,
I
my
think that's
friend.
what's about to happen. Okay? So, Jey Uso, Gunther. Jey wins. It was a foregone conclusion. Gunther had held the belt for like half a year or something like that.
Yeah.
And pretty much all signs were pointing to Jey winning the belt. He had the crowd behind him and everything. It was just a classic hero versus villain.
Well, and there was the whole, I think, story lead up of Gunther beating the brakes off Jimmy Uso too, beforehand.
Yeah.
And so that kind of led into the storytelling of course,
Yeah.
gotta have some vengeance.
There was a lot of stuff that it would have been riskier for WWE to do all of that and then keep the belt on Gunther. That would have been, I shouldn't say more interesting, because then he's just the champion still, and like, who does he feud with?
It's kind of boring too, though.
What they did?
No,
or if they had gone that way.
would have just let Gunther hold it still. It's like, okay, well, you're just gonna keep building it up even more. Like, where do we go from here?
Yeah. So you have to do something. You have to switch it up a little bit. I will say that the only problem that I really have is Gunther's a really good wrestler. Jey Uso is okay. Him and his brother have kind of. I think they've kind. I'm not gonna say lazy because that. I mean, how dare I sit here and call him lazy? He's not lazy.
Yeah.
But I will say that they've gotten comfortable with their moveset and with how they want their matches to go.
Maybe safe is the better word.
Safe. Yeah. But the thing is, there's safe workers like Randy Orton, who's safe but also still interesting to watch because he's so good, like so technically sound, so good at what he does. The Usos, not so much. So it's going to be interesting to see how this reign goes. I have a prediction. I don't think it's going to be a very long title reign. I think he might hold it maybe 2 pay-per-views, and then I think he's going to drop it to someone else. I think he's going to be a semi-transitionary champion to someone else.
Okay. Does anyone come to mind, or is it still in the ether?
I mean, I would have said a lot of names, but now how things have kind of gone with WrestleMania and with Raw, it's kind of hard to say. Because I thought maybe you could do Punk, or they could have done Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
I think Braun's a good one. You know, now that he's off the IC title, but with the stuff that happened on Raw, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I just don't see that happening. LA Knight, because he, spoiler alert, dropped the U.S. championship.
Yeah,
that frees him up to feud. But then you've got good guy versus good guy, and that's kind of hard to do. So you got to have one of them flip, or just do like a good guy versus good guy thing, and see how the crowd reacts to it. Essentially, I think he feuds with Gunther a little bit, maybe retains at Backlash, then starts another program with someone else. Maybe he starts a program with Jimmy, and they go back and forth. That would not be great, though, because their WrestleMania match sucked. So I don't know. I don't keep going down that. Let's move on. This is going to take up a lot of time if I keep speculating.
Next, we have the World Tag Team title match between the New Day and the War Raiders.
I didn't even watch this match.
Well, spoiler
I watched
alert,
the end of it.
New Day won. Yeah. I mean, they continue to be heels and kind of do what they've been doing.
I saw people mad that they won, and I'm just like, you didn't think that they were going to put the belts on them at least one more time?
No. Yeah.
You have them turn heel. You have all this stuff with them shitting on Big E, and then for them to lose to the War Raiders? Come on, bro.
Yeah. No. Not very surprising, in my opinion.
No.
Then we have the United States Championship match.
You skip Jade and Naomi.
Oh, right.
Misogynist.
Well, I was going from each title here. All right, we have Jade Cargill and Naomi. And Jade won. Yeah, because of course. I mean,
yeah, you got to keep building her up.
Yeah.
She should just be running through the women's division, really, en route to a championship.
Which I think will happen. I mean, just look at her.
Right. Like, who's actually going to give her problems outside of Rhea Ripley and that one chick that's tagging with Liv Morgan? Forgot her name.
Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah. Who else is going to give her problems?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Agreed. Okay, can I go?
Can
I go now?
Okay. You know?
Next up is the United States Championship match between Jacob Fatu and
Fatu.
L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
And Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
I like the choice of having Fatu win, throwing the belt on him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what's next for LA Knight? I kind of feel like his momentum has stalled a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like, even as a casual watcher, you can feel that.
Yeah.
You know, just feeling the vibes of it generally. It's like, he's still talented. He still has, like, he's still good on the mic. It's just, there has to be more movement. Something has to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
I think just a short time ago, he was wrestling for the championship belt, and now, they put the U.S. title back on him. Then he drops it to Fatu. And that's why I'm like, he has to feud for a bigger belt.
Yeah.
He has to. He has to feud for the heavyweight championship soon, or they're just going to lose all of this momentum that he's built up.
Yeah, he'll fizzle out.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, next. El Grande Americano
Grande Americano.
defeated Rey Fenix.
Yeah. Which I thought, again, another interesting thing to do, debut a guy and then have him lose. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
No.
Because the whole El Grande Americano thing is a joke.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I heard a rumor that that's not an actual luchador under that mask.
No, that can't be.
No way.
It's El Grande Americano.
Wouldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was interesting as well. Then we have the WWE Women's Championship match, which was Tiffany Stratton, who defeated Charlotte Flair.
I'm going to just say this right now, put it on record.
Yeah.
I've never liked Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
From day one, I was just like, I don't get it.
Well, and even looking at social media, it seems like you're not alone.
Oh, they've turned on her.
Yeah.
Turned on her. I don't want it to be vitriolic. Like, I'm not trying to be like mean about it. She's talented.
People seem really mad at her.
They're
for some
very
reason, though.
angry with her.
I don't get it.
I think men are just angry with women in general at this, like,
Fair, yeah.
Nowadays,
Yeah,
they don't really have to do anything except for exist.
That's a fair read on men on the internet. Not us.
Yeah, not us. Not us. Mm-mm. No, we love women. So, girl.
Settle down. Settle down. Yeah, but yeah, I saw a lot of anger on the social medias.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for her specifically, a lot of people were upset that she comes back in. And, she just gets thrown back into the championship picture.
Yeah.
And, it just seems like as a Flair, she's getting a little bit of that Nepo baby stuff. She's getting the push. But also, but here's the thing about that. I mean, if someone in her position, I do think a lot of it is misogyny. I really honestly do think the anger towards her is just misogyny through and through, but I think their reasoning is masked misogyny as well, because if a guy in her position came back and immediately feuded for the belt, like, nobody would be upset about that, because you go, well, sure, this person takes a break, they come back after injury or something, and then, they're an upper card guy. They don't go back and feud for the IC title.
He's a legacy wrestler,
Yeah. I will say, though, the reason I don't like her is I don't really like her wrestling style.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of how she wrestles, although I will concede that she's very talented. And I also don't think that – I think it's bullshit that they have given her, like, 15 reigns already.
Yeah.
Like, trying so hard to make her the winningest wrestler of all time. I think it was ill-informed. I think it was a bad call to have her just win and win and win and win. I mean, it's the same way that I feel about John Cena as well, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was too fast. I think it was too much. For her to be like a 14 or 15-time champion already this early in her career, all things considered, I think was too much too fast. And so when Tiffany Stratton won, people were very satisfied with that result.
Yeah. Next, we have the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. Seth Rollins defeating Roman Reigns
via heel turn and Paul Heyman interference.
Yes.
Which
double interference.
Come on. Yeah, double interference. Paul Heyman was going crazy that night.
Oh my God.
There at the roast.
Oh my God.
Afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Heyman was feeling himself.
Uh-huh.
Little kayfabe breaking.
I was going to say, things got a little real, it felt like.
Okay. So, Punk said it's not a MAGA company, but I don't know. I don't know. Didn't really have to say that guy was going to get deported. Anyway, let's talk about the match. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Listen, Roman Reigns has definitely grown on me he's the tribal chief, and I acknowledge him as such. But Seth Rollins and CM Punk are two of my favorites. I've said it before. CM Punk is straight up my favorite, current wrestler.
Yeah.
So this was just a great match, just through and through. Really fun. Everybody brought it. The heel turn was amazing, unexpected.
Yeah.
I love Seth Rollins turning heel. I think it's great. I think he's always been a better heel than a face.
Yeah.
He's good as a face. It's fun. The Joker thing that he does, and the laughing and the crazy outfits. But I think as a heel, the outfits being that outlandish is going to be even better. I really hope that he doesn't change. Yeah. I know a lot of people are like, I'm over the laughing and the big outfits.
They want him in SWAT gear again.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's dumb. He should not go back to he should keep doing what he's doing. I need this stable that they've created on Raw. I need him to just be coming out in giant Victoria's Secret wings and all. I want the outfits to get crazier and crazier. I want people to be mad at him every week. I love it.
Yeah.
I love his character. I love that shit, man. I mean, I love all of the real flamboyant dudes, the fucking Randy Savages, shit. I had someone specific in mind. The guy from the 80s.
There are so many from the 80s.
Yeah. That was the thing to do in the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that he keeps doing that. And then, we can keep feuding with Roman and Punk. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like where they're going with this. I'm into it.
Me too. I will say probably, close to my favorite match of the entire event.
I'd say it was probably my favorite match of the.
For the surprises alone, I was actually like, oh, whoa, all right.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. All right, next up we have the Triple Threat Women's World Championship match featuring Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley.
By the way, we're in night 2.
Yes, we've now gone to Sunday with Io Sky winning over Bianca Belair. And, that was fun.
I thought that was a good decision as well.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed the end of it because I was walking Celine.
Fucking dog gets in the way again.
So I came in and they were already on the next segment, and I said, "What happened?" So, but I saw most of the match, which was entertaining and fun.
I like all three of them, and I really like Io Sky. Yeah, I think it's a good. They
put her in a blimp. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw.
I did not see.
She was in the Goodyear blimp.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. No, I thought it was great, and I think she's great. I think all three of them are, but I think it's let Io Sky have a long title reign. Yeah.
Agreed. Next, we have the Sin City Street Fight featuring Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest.
I didn't watch this one.
Drew McIntyre won.
I can't pretend like I give a fuck about either one of these guys right now.
Yeah. I was following Damian Priest because I liked what was happening with him and what were they called? The group. Yeah, the Puerto Ricans. Yes, the Puerto Ricans.
The Puerto Ricans. No, it's talking about Judgment Day.
Yes, Judgment Day.
Not the Puerto Ricans.
The Puerto Ricans. Yes.
That's strike 2 for you today.
For me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're on strike 5 today.
No, you don't. We don't count my strikes.
Couldn't be.
I'm not a good person. So
it's clear I'm not a good person.
I'm not a good person.
Anyway, I liked following his storyline within Judgment Day and like the sort of disillusion of what happened there, and then he's the bad guy, but also now people are kind of backing him. I liked all of his storyline that was going on, but again, like another wrestler that I feel like is kind of in this weird purgatory of what do we do with him?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really moved either way with this match. It's fine.
Yeah, I just didn't think their beef just wasn't compelling enough.
I agree completely. And
Yeah.
I was just like, well, all right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You got to make it interesting because I don't really like either one of their. Well, let's just say Damian Priest mostly. I'm not really a big fan of his style of wrestling.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is definitely he's grown on me, but even still, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It's just one of those like that was a bathroom break wrestling match for me.
Just two big slow guys.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up we have the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental Championship match.
Championship. Yeah.
With Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta. Sin Miedo, if you know what I'm saying.
This was a match.
Yeah.
And these guys are all compelling dudes.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see what happens with all these. Dominic Mysterio kind of has no choice but to. I mean, that was a face turn, even though it probably wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Him winning was massive.
Yeah.
And him running back out there, everybody has said like wasn't planned. He just kind of felt it in the moment.
Yeah.
And was like, "Fuck it, this crowd is going crazy for me. I'm going back out there."
Yeah.
Which is a good call, but also kind of forces WWE's hand a little bit. I don't think you can come back on TV and just be like a little bitch anymore. I think he's got to be. I think his character has to change slightly to be receptive because he's not going to get booed out of the building anymore.
No. And I wonder if that was, I mean, I'm sure it was like an emotional decision in the moment for him, but I wonder if it was also like semi-tactical. Like, because, you know, there's always politics behind the scenes. All the rags talk about it, the drama, and like, you know, performers wanting their storyline to go a certain way and pushing for it for years and it never happening. You know, I have to wonder if he's kind of pushing for this face turn. And he saw his opportunity and took it.
Yeah.
As opposed to it just being this, like, I was just feeling it, and so I went back out there.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with his character, given all of that information. Because, like, if he does want to be a face and kind of accept the cheers from the crowd, I mean, he's well on his way at this point, but at the same time, his character has been so compelling because he's been such an asshole.
Sure.
He's been so good at being like that slimy, just
snide little.
Yeah. So now it's like, okay, we're going to cheer for this guy. How do you continue to be a little snake? Excuse me, and have people cheer for you? You know.
Yeah.
So that's going to be difficult.
I will say I've been kind of rooting for a face turn from him for a long time because I do feel like we've kind of hit kind of a plateau with his character as far as how shitty he can be.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not much else. There's not a whole lot of room to go anywhere else with that character. So I think now is actually the perfect time to kind of see what a face Dominic Mysterio looks like. And mind you, you know, he doesn't have to be John Cena from before his turn, but he can kind of do it his own way. You know, still be an asshole, still be cocky.
Yeah, you can do kind of a tweener thing, as they say.
Yeah, but, you know, ultimately be somebody that people do want to cheer for.
Yeah.
And I would like to see that anyway. All right, next up we have Randy Orton versus Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry, say his name and he'll appear.
Which was a surprise entry into this match.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, that was great. He was supposed to wrestle Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens got injured. I thought it was going to be a work, but it's actually legit injury.
Yeah.
And so they had surprise Joe Hendry come out. Crowd went nuts. It was a big pop. And then Orton dispatched of him pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So just a kind of silly thing. Randy
It was
Orton,
fun.
I mean, I was looking forward to Orton and Owens having like a banger,
Yeah.
good 10 to 15 minute match. But, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
Sure. Then we have Logan Paul versus AJ Styles, in which Logan Paul won.
Yeah, this one I don't know how to feel about this one. Logan Paul is obviously a very talented wrestler.
Yeah.
He gets the business. He is exactly what the WWE wants. He's got a built-in character.
Yeah.
People love to hate him, but then he's also really good at wrestling for some reason. Picks it up really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching the match and I'm like, fuck, man, like his moves are crisp. He's athletic.
It's got a hydration station.
He's got his own hydration station. I don't like Logan Paul as a person,
Sure.
as a wrestler, but it's hard to deny what he's bringing to the table. That being said, AJ giving him the rub is kind of like, all right, it feels like we're in the twilight of AJ's career.
Yeah.
Because he's basically not opening the show, but he's mid-card, no belt, putting over Logan Paul. I just feel like, what do we do with AJ Styles? Like, I feel like it's over, and it's just, that's what upset me. Is like, okay, just kind of feels like it's over for Styles.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it did feel like they, I don't want to say tarnished AJ Styles, but it just felt like a bit of a tell of where they see these two performers right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I did feel a little crestfallen about this match.
Yeah. I mean, Logan Paul didn't exactly win clean.
Yeah.
But he didn't exactly win dirty either.
Sure.
So you're kind of saying to the audience that Logan Paul got the best of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Where do you go with either one of these guys? Logan Paul is going to be feuding for a championship belt soon. And I really thought that WWE was going to kind of, because of Logan Paul's other commitments,
Yeah.
keep him mid-card and just have him feud for like the U.S. belt and the IC title.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I see a heavyweight championship belt reign in his. Maybe it's Logan and Jay.
Could be.
Yeah,
Could
because he
be.
needs a bad guy to feud with, and he needs a
Yeah.
compelling bad guy, and Logan Paul could do that.
Absolutely. That's a good pull. Next, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Title match: Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, in which Lyra and Becky came up on top.
Fun match. Becky comes back after being out for a year. Not the greatest technical display,
Sure.
but still pretty fun.
Yeah.
Great story. Becky turned heel on Raw, so kind of a nice, cute, feel-good story for WrestleMania, but didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
I guess Lyra and Becky are going to feud, which is fun. You know, I guess Lyra and Becky have a relationship, and she looks up to Becky, and that's like a whole storyline in
Yeah.
and of itself. So
Yep.
I see Becky again in the twilight of her career, probably. I mean, she's talked a lot about, you know, retiring early and being a mother and everything, and appreciating where her career is now. I could see her giving the rub and then calling it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Not a match, but Stone Cold Steve Austin came out and plowed a young woman.
Yeah, that was... yeah, I watched that one live, and I was like, holy shit, he just crashed into someone. That was
And I
crazy.
knew it was going to happen. As soon as he started making little circles around the ring, I'm like,
dude.
he's going to crash.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, you could tell he was already. Well, I don't know if he was already drunk when he was on that thing, but yeah, that second lap around, you're like, oh, he's not. He's
no.
going way too fast, and then boom, slams into the thing. everybody's saying that lady took a fall.
Yeah, yeah.
If you see all the multiple angles, she's kind of. It looks like she's more shocked at what happened.
Yeah.
That he got so close and that it was like, than her actually being injured.
Sure.
So I don't know but that was crazy.
Yeah.
Have him come out and then he does the classic like attendance record bullshit, which I just wish they would stop doing it.
It feels like a prep rally.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's lame.
I don't like it.
It's so lame.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that they do, like the post presser, I think is silly because sometimes the guys break kayfabe and then sometimes they stay in character.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not blurring the lines, you're just confusing people because you can't answer a question in character and then when somebody asks you like a sincere question, then be like, yeah,
well, I love my kids actually. And,
you can't do that.
Can't wait to get
so
back.
like make them if you're gonna do this presser thing, like they do it in the pre-show too, where Biggie and Rosenberg and someone else they all like sitting around and they pretend like this is real, which I'm fine with,
right?
Obviously,
sure,
but you got to do the whole thing. I find it really silly.
There has to be a separation between church and state, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to know that we're still within the world of this show or not.
Yeah.
Now,
like when you're out there and it's supposed to be kayfabe, and someone is sort of doing a real thing, and you go, "Ooh, this is kind of blurring the lines." That's one thing.
I don't know what you're talking about, brother.
But when you just break character and then get back into character, that's unprofessional in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't think that's good. I don't
No.
think that's a good way to handle things.
No, you got to make them go to some improv classes. Teach them how to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And
again, stay in character or break character, but you can't do both.
No. Especially when you have a very like defined character that's not you.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is kind of going away a bit. I feel like most of them are like blurring the lines already between like who they are as a person and their character.
Right.
Which makes it easier. I think it's kind of a natural evolution of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
But if if you do have a character, you got to stay in it while you're talking about the thing at least. Mm-hmm. If you're on a podcast the next day, whatever, fine, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You're right. It's weird.
So then that leads into the big match of the night.
Undisputed WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. So, if you don't know, Cody Rhodes beat. Just kidding. John Cena beat Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, to me wasn't really a surprise. I think a lot of people kind of assumed that's the way it was going to go.
Yeah.
Because it would have been, I mean, despite the heel turn, it would have been shitty to put John Cena in that position and have him not get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think him winning 17 world titles was a foregone conclusion. It was really just how are they going to handle this?
Yeah.
I did think when he went on this retirement tour, I was like, I wonder if he's just going to put a bunch of people over and then call it a day. And he didn't do that, which is good.
Yeah.
Because I think once he ultimately does lose like a meaningful match, obviously, like him being the champion now, I'm sure that the plan is him and Cody feud for a little bit longer. I don't know who you crown as the guy, because okay, here's what could happen before we get back to the match. Because on Raw, Cena cut a promo, and then Orton hit him with the RKO.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're gonna have Cena and Orton feud for a little bit, which is cool because they have history. It's one of the greatest rivalries in like the modern era. It is the like homegrown. These are the two WWE guys. These are the guys that are going to carry the company. While wrestling was probably at its lowest,
Yeah.
in like the mid to late 2000s, when everyone was like, "Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
And there was no competition except for the indies, and no one cool was watching it, and no one was covering it. By the way, it's so funny now. I've been talking to a lot of people about like why wrestling has seen this resurgence, and I have plenty of theories. I'm not going to do it today because it's just going to take up the entire rest of the podcast. But I will say, like, it is interesting to see like mainstream media covering wrestling the way that it does now.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can go back just a couple of years ago, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep.
And now, Complex and all of the quote-unquote cool websites, they'll post about these big landmark milestone things all the time. So I just find that funny. Like, wrestling is back in the biggest
mainstream,
way.
yeah.
It's mainstream. It is
again.
mainstream again. There are millions and millions and millions of people watching. So, okay. Just want to say that. Back to the match itself.
Yeah.
A lot of people called it a clunker. Not a good one. What'd you think watching it? As a guy who doesn't, as a more casual fan.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, there were better matches, like in the event in general. But I still found it entertaining. I mean, I think it's epic as it should have been. I really didn't have much doubt that it would go the way it did. But at the same time, it was I would say despite the match itself, like the technical or lack thereof nature of the match itself, I found it most interesting to see the audience's reaction.
Yeah.
The live audience's reaction there. And the ebb and flow, it felt like, of fans, kind of the energy changing back and forth a little bit. That I found actually more entertaining than the match itself. To see them, like, finally, like, or not finally, but, like, kind of go back and forth on, finally, to see them start rooting for Cena.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting there watching with Sherry, and you know, she only watches wrestling when I'm watching. And so she was like, why are they rooting for the bad guy? Like, he's the bad guy in this, right? And I'm like, yeah, but, like, there's this legacy. It's more than this storyline. It has a lot to do with, you know, people's memories growing up with John Cena being their guy, or, you know, remembering the old days and, like, all the times that they've looked up to him as a performer. And to see that happen despite the storyline at hand, I thought was really interesting and satisfying in a way to see him finally get it.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if I go as far as to say it was disappointing, but I was kind of expecting more twists and more surprises within the match itself.
Yeah. I think last year set the bar too high. And I think people's expectations, because of last year, really kind of fucked this one up.
Yeah.
I don't think that Travis Scott should have been involved at all.
No, I didn't like that element whatsoever.
Yeah, that was bad. That should have been a thing on, like, Raw or SmackDown or, like, Backlash or something. That is not a WrestleMania moment.
No.
Travis Scott should not have been involved at all. It should have just been a clean, like, Cena just wins.
Yeah.
I mean, he could still cheat to win, which is what he did, but it should have been Cena just cheating to win. No Travis Scott.
Yeah. Well, and of course I knew there would be some element of him cheating, because that allows there to still be a claim for Cody Rhodes to be like, oh, you know, he didn't actually lose. It was because, you know, there's funny business going on.
Sure. Classic. Classic funny business.
Of course. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was fine. One of the bigger controversies that I do agree with is the fact that there was no Rock. At the end of this storyline that felt like it was leading up to The Rock playing a major part in this season, if you will.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. And for no good reason, really, it seems like.
Yeah. Rock should have been involved for sure. Definitely. It's disappointing that and then he gets interviewed later and he's like, "Oh, I didn't want to take away from these two superstars and Cena getting his 17th world title. Like I didn't want to take any attention away." And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
You've been involved in this since almost day one. And then you're going to just be honest, you couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are upset about is like he got a lot of goodwill last year because of how WrestleMania was handled, how the road to WrestleMania was handled.
Yeah.
His heel turn, all of this stuff. Like he did a lot of good.
Yeah.
But it's become increasingly clear that Rock is who he always has been. And even though people were like, "Oh, maybe he's come back to wrestling because his star in Hollywood has kind of fizzled a little bit."
Yeah.
And so he's kind of coming back home to kind of, reset himself. No, dude. He's on the board of directors. And I saw somebody say, and this seems like increasingly true, that he shows up and then the writers have to scramble like it's Friday night of Saturday Night Live and they just have to figure something out for him.
Yeah.
And that's what happened when he showed up and did the fingered thing and all this stuff. And when he got involved, he just was there and they were like, well, I guess we got to get Rocky involved.
Yeah.
And he couldn't make it to WrestleMania. And so he had to pretend like, oh, I just wanted them to finish the story. And it's like, so you set people's expectations crazy high, and then who comes out but fucking Travis Scott, who can't, he takes a bump like fucking Vince McMahon. He's not good. And it's not his fault. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting him to be good at taking, the crossroads, for instance, but he just doesn't know what he's doing. And then you could tell that Cody was like, get out of the ring now.
He kept pushing him.
And he just wouldn't move.
Yeah.
He died like a ref and he just wouldn't get out of the ring. It's just like he's just not prepared.
Yeah.
And to have Travis Scott on the grandest stage of them all to be in the main event.
You can't do that
It was
for
bad.
WrestleMania.
It was bad. It was bad booking. It was just bad booking.
Yeah.
That I agree with. Cena winning his 17th, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
The match itself, it was a bit of a clunker, but I mean that's this revisionist history with Cena being like a good wrestler. It's dude. Like,
yeah.
And that's the thing, man. Like that's like when you see newer fans talking about it and how they're like, "Yo, Cena's my GOAT." You weren't there when he was getting booed out of the building. This guy was on like his 11th or 12th championship reign. He'd come out there and they would just shower him with boos. And he's talked about this in the heel run where he's like, you guys you're so fucking fickle. And that is my main beef with this main event is the fucking crowd.
Yeah.
And it's the WWE fans and it's the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community. It's these fucking fans who think they're too smart for the show. They're the ones that ruin this because he's the bad guy and he has told the crowd to eat his ass. Cody goes out there night in and night out, shaking hands and kissing babies. The crowd, even though Cena is Cena, and I love Cena. Yeah. So I'm not saying, even though I don't think he's a good wrestler, and I don't, I do think that he's a great character. I do think he's one of the greatest of all time. I think he carried the company in a time where no one else could do what he did.
In the dark times.
Yeah, I mean, all of that goes without saying. In this moment, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And the crowd is supposed to respond in kind.
Yeah.
And they tried to be smarter than the story.
I see.
And that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because you boo him to say we love you and we love what you're doing. So you boo the character.
Right.
When Dominic Mysterio gets booed out of the building, it's because he's doing such good heel work.
Yeah.
And people go, this is awesome. Boo.
Yeah.
They cheered for Cena and booed Cody because they're fucking shitty neckbeards and they never like when a good guy is just a good guy. A good guy always has to have like this snarky kind of like darkness to him. He can't just be a Captain America.
It's the sincerity problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. People can't, they just cannot live with genuineness and sincerity anymore. A guy can't just be like, I love wrestling. I love the fans. I want to do good. I want to be a good guy. I want to carry this company in a good way. They just can't handle it.
Reject.
And so they booed him, and it made me mad because I'm like, you guys are ruining this story.
Yeah.
Because what Cena's doing is compelling. It's compelling character work.
Yeah.
He's like breaking the fourth wall and going, you don't think that I heard those boos? For like the last 10 to 15 years, I heard the boos. I heard you guys making fun of my bald spot.
Well,
I heard you guys being shitty. And now I'm like, go fuck yourself.
And it's compelling because it's real.
Yes.
You know that's a real feeling he's had.
Dude, and the entire time that they've ever asked him about it, I've seen his interviews. And they
Yeah.
ask him about getting booed. He's like, whether you love me or you hate me, yeah, at least I'm getting a response.
Yeah.
And that's what wrestling is all about.
Sure,
That's what
sure.
WWE is all about.
Yeah.
Just getting a response. You know, in his heart of hearts, he's like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, this sucks.
I break my fucking back for these
Yeah.
people. Every week, I do every house show. I show up, and I've made dreams come true, and I've these Make-A-Wish kids. I do everything
More than
for these
anyone.
fucking people.
Yeah.
Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah.
And they have the nerve
To boo him.
to sing to a song, John Cena sucks.
John Cena sucks.
And then when he finally turns heel, now they want to cheer him?
now they like him.
I mean, it's
Oy.
like it's frustrating, man. Like
Yeah, you
like
can't win.
The
You can't
crowd is a part of it, and I'm not saying that you can't just feel how you feel. If you think something sucks, say that it sucks.
Sure.
If you don't like a wrestler, boo him. Whether it's real heat, whether it's cheap heat, or whether it's heat that they're getting because they're a bad guy and
Actual feedback.
right, like boo them and let them know how you feel. But I think that crowd, and I think that the IWC right now is trying to take over the show,
Yeah.
and I don't like it.
That's fair. I didn't think about it in that way, but that makes a lot of sense. At the time, I saw it as like more of a this is our last sort of exhibition of seeing John Cena at WrestleMania.
But you don't have to boo Cody.
That's true. That's a good point.
You know,
That's a good point.
Cody. I mean, I hate to sound like it's real to me, damn it, but like Cody doesn't deserve to get booed.
He doesn't. And, to be fair, I would like to think he understands why he got booed.
I think everybody involved understands what happened.
Sure.
I don't think anybody's going like, "What the fuck?"
I
can't
guess
believe this.
everyone hates Cody Rhodes now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like that crowd that night was going, "Listen, we love you, Cody, but it's John Cena winning his 17th championship."
What are we going to do?
But what I'm saying is, even given all that information, you don't have to boo Cody.
Yeah, and
You can cheer them both.
I agree with you as well in the fact that professional wrestling is special in the way that the audience is such a part of the performance.
Yeah.
If you're watching a play, your involvement is very limited until the very end of the show when you can applaud.
Unless you want to heckle.
Unless you want to heckle, which I don't think you should do. But in professional wrestling, it's such like, I mean, it's cliche to say, but the crowd is part of the show.
Yeah.
So in that, you should act accordingly. Play along with the storyline.
Yeah.
You are within the kayfabe sphere.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
And you should act accordingly.
Yes, you should. Yeah, if you're a part of it and everybody's doing their job, then you should be doing your job as a crowd member,
Right.
and you should be booing the bad guy and cheering the good guy.
Unless it all sucks to the point where you're like, I'm out of this experience, and I'm going to let you know
Right.
that you're doing a bad job.
Right, and yeah, their poor execution results in you booing it. That's
Right.
fine.
Right.
That makes sense. That works. And that's letting the company know, like, we're not just going to sit here and let you do whatever you want. But both of them have made compelling cases for their characters. It's not like Cody was doing bad character work. He was doing a good job. He cut a really, really good promo on
yeah.
the last Raw. So, like, it's not that he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
No.
He did everything that he was supposed to do, and they booed him for nostalgia, and it's bullshit.
Yeah. They were over nerding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when
I
you
agree.
go back and you watch that, and he's getting booed out of the building, and it's like, for what?
Right.
Because these fucking nerds think they're too smart, and smarks are never too smart for the show.
Yeah. You're watching professional wrestling.
After all,
Settle down. Settle down.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so
Overall, though, we spent an entire hour
I was
talking
gonna
about
say,
it. So
to cap it all off, what'd you think of this year's WrestleMania?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I think they missed some opportunities to do some fun stuff, and I think that they have a lot of talent that they're underutilizing.
Yeah.
On the whole, but I do think what we saw was a good show. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10.
What show is? How are you reviewing this? This is insane. What are you talking
A
about?
7.5 bottle caps out of 12 bottle caps.
Ah, I see.
Okay, so I would give it a 4. I'd give it a 4.
I was
4 out of 6.
That's my rating too. It's a 4 out of 6. I think last year was better. I thought it was still fun though. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. It was an enjoyable couple
Yeah.
of nights of entertainment.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I can ask for from pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You know.
There you go. As long as you had fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Reason to make some chicken wings.
There you go.
Have
It's
some
always just a
chicken wings.
reason to make some chicken wings.
Have some beers. You know. Have a
Have
good
some
time.
chickens. Have some beers.
Have a good time.
Have a good time. All right.
Okay.
Let's get into some trailer trash.
Trailer trash.
Okay, do you want to breathe for a second? That was a lot of nerding out.
It was.
Yeah, so
You know what? Let's put a pause right here. I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
gonna go pee. Let's reset. Let's get into trailer trash.
And then
Fresh.
Let's rock this joint. It's pee time. Open bathroom door so we can pee and get back to the pod. It's pee time. All right, trailer trash.
Trailer trash.
I got a cookie. We peed.
Yeah, I got another beer so I can save my 6th man. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So let's do this.
let's do it. Let's start off
Speed round.
with Predator Badlands, directed by Dan Trachtenberg,
Dan
who
Trachtenberg.
did Prey, that was thrown onto Netflix to die.
Hulu.
Hulu to die. Excuse me.
Yeah, and it's bullshit, and I'm so happy that they're giving this guy another crack at this because Prey was awesome.
It was.
We
yeah.
talked about it. Did we do a one reel in on it?
I don't think we did, but
We talked about
we
it at
definitely
least. I
talked
know
about
we
it.
talked about it.
Definitely talked about it. Yeah.
Prey was sick as fuck,
Yep.
and it was so sad that it had to just go to a streaming service and die, and nobody really watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy that they're giving him another chance to do
Agreed.
something like this. This is cool.
Agreed. And this one seems very different from the other Predator movies we've gotten in the past, which this one is apparently going to be really focused on a Predator
Yeah.
for the first time in the franchise. So that's exciting alone. I will read an excerpt from Ars Technica talking about this film to give you a brief breakdown of what it's about. The film follows Deck, a young member of the Predator species and society who has been banished.
Did they need to give him a name?
They gotta call him something. So there's Predator 1, Predator 2.
Deck.
Deck. He'll work closely with a Wayland Yutani android named Thea,
Okay.
played by Elle Fanning, to take down, quote, the ultimate adversary, which the trailer dubs a creature that, quote, can't be killed. The adversary looks like a very large monster we haven't seen before, judging from a few shots in the trailer. So yeah, that's essentially it. Our only like humanoid character is an android. So I find that interesting. It seems like Dan, my friend, is kind of swinging for the fences in this one because there have been movies in the past that don't have a lot of dialogue, obviously, but this, unless this android is very chatty in English or they make the Predator speak English, this is probably going to be a kind of dialogueless movie.
I don't think it's ever been established. Now, I don't read the Predator comics, so
Sure.
I don't know if they've established that they can communicate in that way. But in the movies, I have seen every Predator movie.
Yeah. They mimic. We've seen them mimic.
Yeah, that's true. They could do, yeah. What is he mimic in the first one?
Definitely the laugh.
Yeah, the laugh, but there was a line. It doesn't
You
matter.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's the one.
They weren't even in South America yet.
Um,
Dylan.
you just hear that ring out in the forest. Dylan. Yeah. So, I hope that I'm cool. I'm good with the movie being like a bordering on no dialogue kind of. We're just watching this shit because there was a lot of scenes that didn't have.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't super dialogue heavy, so yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
I think-
dude, that fucking trailer rocks.
It certainly
Trailer was
does.
sick.
Yeah. I mean, okay, spoiler, not trash.
Not trash.
Yeah, I thought
Not trash.
this was a movie that I was like kind of anticipating just based on the fact that I really enjoyed Prey. But hearing that it was so different from Prey, like it's very clearly very removed from what Prey was.
Yeah.
Had me a little hesitant. Like, can he pull it off? But
Well, it's
I
kind
mean,
of hard to say with some of the stuff that's coming out, like Alien Earth. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know
Sure.
where that one's gonna go. But Romulus obviously was amazing.
Yeah.
So
and it's I think the series creator of the Fargo TV series that's always been super good.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. Predator and Alien have had their slew of good and bad movies.
Oh, yeah.
So it's always a crapshoot.
More bad than good.
Yeah, especially
So-
with Predator.
Oh yeah.
So it's always a crapshoot. And
Yeah.
this trailer, this trailer, and everybody that's involved, I don't know, looks
Yeah.
pretty good.
And even for a trailer, the effects look really solid, which was really my only gripe with Prey. That the effects looked a little cheap.
yeah,
But
it was a pandemic movie on a streaming service.
yeah,
Tough.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Well, it seems like they gave them enough money this time. So.
Yeah.
Excited, very excited. I want to see more about this this old Predator movie.
Yeah.
All right, switching over to video games.
Video games.
We have Ghost of Yotei, which is the follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima, but is, I mean, kind of like Predator Badlands, far removed from the original game, set 300 years in the future.
300
actually.
years?
Yes.
How can it be that? What?
Yeah, just a different era of feudal Japan that they've decided to jump to.
Okay.
So
300 years.
yeah, what a lot of people don't understand or realize is that Ghost of Tsushima takes place a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like these are, it was a very very long time ago. I think like what, the 1100s, 1200s, something like that.
Yeah.
I forget when, but yeah, I mean we're talking like Genghis Khan time,
Right.
so yes.
But isn't there guns in Ghost of Tsushima?
No. I think there's like cannons, but no like pistols.
Not pistol. I think, don't you get like a rifle of some sort?
Do you?
Maybe not.
I
Maybe
think
I'm
you just
thinking
have arrows.
I may be thinking of Ronin.
Yeah.
I may
That
be
would make more
confusing them.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because back then the Chinese did have black powder, so there were still explosives.
Well,
like
and
bombs.
definitely you could do that in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
I remember there was bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may be conflating the two games. I gotta replay Ghost of Tsushima again.
So good. So good. It's again, I don't platinum games very much, but I definitely did that one.
What do you mean you don't platinum games very
I
much?
don't.
What are you talking about?
I don't.
How many have you platinumed?
I mean, I'd say probably maybe 5.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me.
It's something like that. I
It's
don't know.
more than that.
I don't know. Maybe
we all
maybe,
know
maybe.
it's more than
maybe.
that. Liar.
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 But yeah, so this is very far removed from Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
But seems to maintain the spirit of the original game, which as it should, because that game is, I mean, I think will go down as a classic game for PlayStation. And they very well should.
I mean, if it hasn't already, you know, it's not held in that regard yet.
I mean, for an American studio to make a game set deep within Japanese culture and to get praise from Japanese devs saying, you guys did it right, we have to step up our game, that should say all you need to say about it. You know? Like, that's the highest praise you could possibly hope for. So, yeah, I mean, them continuing with a sequel that doesn't have anything to do with the original game other than, you know, mechanics and general spirit of the game is kind of surprising. You know, I wonder how they'll play with that. It seems like this is going to be its own, like, completely different story, though.
Yeah.
And from this trailer, it looks like it's going to be a tale of revenge. And
which seems to be like, that's the point. That's what these devs, that's the story that they want to tell, is stories of revenge.
Well, and it's essentially a Batman story.
Yeah.
So that makes
Dead
a lot
parents.
of sense. Yeah, like, you know, you killed somebody important to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna come back.
The old dead parent story.
And Hansha, you know, as a ghost.
As the ghost.
So yeah,
it's like Kill Bill.
Well, this
With the
this trailer in particular, showing and naming each of the different assassins, it seems like, that attacked her village and tried to kill her and apparently killed everyone else that she knew.
Yeah.
That seems to be the main hook, and that is very Kill Bill, and I love that.
Yeah.
I was already kind of excited about the game, just knowing the pedigree of what we have in store for us. But seeing that that's the main hook, like, I can't wait, especially it being an open world game, and hopefully they do it in a way that's, you know, kind of pick which assassin you go after next.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that would be awesome.
The same way that you could kind of just encounter the random Straw Hats.
Yeah.
I hope that that's what they do with this. I also hope that they have, you know, they have a more robust engine to play around with.
Yeah.
I really hope that the world is a bit more alive.
Yeah.
I felt like there was moments where in the first game, I think, like, you know, one of my biggest gripes was you'd go to, like, an encampment, for instance, and you'd, like, walk all over people and nobody would move, nobody would react to what you were doing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like they're, like, really, really NPCs.
It's
like,
very
they're
gamey.
Not,
Very
yeah,
gamey.
yeah. And I feel like we're in a place now with games. If you're going to do an open world sandbox RPG and you're going to fill it with living characters who you can interact with and stuff, if I walk up, I should be able to sock one right in the face. or if you're going to take that away from me and say, like, listen, this is a safe area. You don't just get to go around, like, causing havoc. Sure. But if I jump on somebody or, like, bump into them, like, there just has to be some kind of, like, because it breaks the immersion when somebody's, for instance, laying on the ground and you just walk and you're just standing on top of them. Like, it just breaks the immersion.
Yeah.
That, and I really, really want them to do. I really, really loved the missions to get the legendary gear and stuff.
Yes.
That was probably my favorite part of the game.
Yeah.
I love shit like that.
Yep.
You'd, like, go behind a waterfall and, like, oh, there's gear that if
There's
you
little
didn't
hints.
Yeah. And if you didn't do this, you could go the whole game without doing this thing. But if you did do this thing, you're being rewarded for your curiosity.
Yep.
I loved shit like that. The only thing that I would say is I hope that in this one, if I come back and I'm dripped out, I want people to see, like, oh, shit.
Oh.
Because I just felt like, because, like, the way that you prompt the mission is you have to like talk to someone who's like, let me tell you the story of so and so who did so and so.
Yeah.
And then you do this mission.
You get the cool like watercolor.
Yeah.
The ink blots.
Which was sick as fuck.
Yeah.
And then you go do the mission, you get the armor or whatever, you come back and you're dripped out. I like walk right in front of the monk who told me the story and he's nonplussed. Yeah. Bro, you know what I went through to get this?
Right.
You just told me this story and in a day I came back with it on?
Be surprised, please.
Just need a reaction. That was just a personal gripe. I always went back to the person. I was like, yo, check it out.
Check it out.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
And nobody ever had no reaction.
It'd be cool if you came back and they try to fight you for the armor.
Yeah. They're like, oh my God, you went through all of the work to get this. Now I'll just kill you. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. What if you just got like randomly attacked while you were out because they were like, there he is, or there she is. She's got the new armor on.
Yeah.
And they just like,
I will say it doesn't make a lot of sense to have like super like fancy uber glittery gold armor when you're trying to be a ghost.
That's true.
But
didn't really make a lot of sense.
That's fine.
Right in the middle of an encampment and you're just fucking regal.
This game is set in 1603, which is apparently 329 years before or after the events of Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
So
1603. All right.
Yeah.
Good year.
It was a very good year. So yeah, interesting. Very excited. Not trash at all.
Not trash.
Not trash
I
at all.
can't wait for this game.
Yeah,
man.
coming out in November. So October. Excuse me. Just think that's what my
guy
birthday
with
is.
cold reads, man.
That's what my birthday is.
Yeah,
so, that's maybe when it's coming out for
It'll
me.
be out way long before that. We'll have to fucking try to stop you from buying it for yourself.
It's true. Well, I don't have the money right now. So
Not now, but
that
it's
helps.
October.
That's true. I can save.
You can save. Yeah, you can put that $100 aside that it's going to cost.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't put that in this universe,
That's what
please.
they're doing. That's what they're doing. That is what they're doing.
All right. Okay.
Let's do this. Let's get to the end of the show and with two things before we get out of here. Number one, we got to end on an upswing.
Yeah.
And that upswing is the cheers of the week. So, Obi, you want to start us off? Let us know what your cheers is.
My cheers is going to go to, and this is going to be funny based on what we talked about earlier off the show, Pope Francis.
All right.
We had this conversation outside the show, which is essentially like the changes that he made and the I don't know, the differences between him and like past popes is in context large, but in the greater scope of things not enough.
Right.
You know, to really set things right for the Catholic Church. And mind you, I say this as someone who's raised Catholic. And to which I say, I generally agree. I do, however, see that overall, I think he pushed people to be compassionate to people that ordinarily would not have been otherwise under a John Paul II, for instance. And I think that deserves a little tip of the hat. The big Pope hat, you know?
Yeah, the big silly hat.
Yes. So all I can hope for is in the future the papacy continues to move more and more to humanitarian aid, to fighting for human rights and fighting against injustices. And I think that, you know, as a mostly non-religious person, but someone who grew up Catholic, is more indicative of the lessons you should be learning from Christianity. And I think Francis had a foot in that door. And if that can open the door to even more reform and positive change, I think that's a good thing. And so for that, give Francis the tip of the hat.
Okay. It's very, man, tightrope. Like a tightrope.
So you have to be with religion. You know? It's tough.
My cheers of the week is going very, something very non-secular.
The devil!
No, it's going to the Magic.
Okay.
Second year in a row, we've made the playoffs. It's my favorite team in sports. Just cheers into the team. It's looking not great in game 2. So
There's still time.
I mean, they're playing what is essentially one of the greatest, one of the best teams in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
So it's more of an upset alert if they win than some kind of I looked at the odds when the series started, and it was like 14% that they could take the series. So I don't have a lot of high hopes, but it's just fun to have a team that is now second year making the playoffs. I would say that we would probably have a higher seed if we were not plagued by injury in the beginning of the season.
Of course.
We were straight up one of the best teams in the NBA when the season started. Yeah. So I have a lot of high hopes for this continued franchise. And, sometimes it's just... Sometimes you get back what you've given. I've given a lot to this team, to the spirit of being a Magic fan
over the years,
and sometimes it comes
in
back
in his spirit.
Yeah. So,
amen.
So yeah. All right, let's review these beers.
Okay.
Crooked Can 6-man lager from Crooked Can. What'd you think?
I think this is a great crispy boy.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. It surprised me with how good it was. Does it do anything special? Absolutely not.
No.
It is just a lager and a pretty light one at that. Yeah. But I think it is a near perfect beer to have while you're watching sports. Beer.
Yeah.
And I respect it so much for that. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
I think it's really good. I would certainly say we're out watching the Magic in person. Yeah. I'd grab this over, a Bud any day.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think for that alone, you got to give it high praise.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. I'm bordering on that as well. Christ. Let's say I'm gonna go 4.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 4.5. It is a really, really nice crispy boy. I guess I shouldn't dock them points for this, but I do think this is just like an American lager. It should be decently priced. It should be readily available.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go 5 as well. I'll go 5 because I feel like I'm docking points for something that is largely out of their control. But if you're going to make a light, crispy, easy drinking, simple beer, it should work. It should be, no frills, but still, still taste well. Flavorful. Thank you. But I just kind of feel like this to me reminds me of just a cheap beer. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're in this economy. This should be a 12-ounce can in a 6-pack.
Yeah.
So I guess that's. We've talked about it before, and we've kind of gone away from it. So that's why I'm not docking points. But in yesteryear of the podcast, we would also take into account the value of said beer. Price. So if we felt hey, man, why am I spending $20 on this 4-pack when all it is just a lager it's just a corn lager that you made to be a Bud Light.
Right.
Why am I spending $30 on this 4-pack? We would take that into account. And we kind of don't do that anymore. So I'm not going to do that now. Not going to take away points.
In this economy, we may have to start doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, we may not do it because it's hard for breweries to bring down the price on stuff like that in this economy.
It's true. Everyone's feeling it.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick with a 5.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Unanimous 5. You think we got it?
No, I know we got it.
Well, if Phoebe says we got it, then this episode is over. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Go Magic.
Orlando Magic. Oh, 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 oh.